Our Hotspots magazine will celebrate 39 years this fall, and it has been documenting the LGBTQ plus lifestyle and is the inspiration of our Hotspots Queer Entertainment this week, sponsored by the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. In the LGBTQ plus community, we always make jokes about size matters. When it comes to Broward Center, size does matter. The Broward Center is a destination of choice for LGBTQ plus South Florida for spectacular entertainment in a large variety of performance venues. Broward Center ranks among the top 10 most visited theaters in the world, presenting more than 700 performances a year to more than 700,000 patrons. And Broward Center supports one of the world's largest gay communities of Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, and all of South Florida. They support that LGBTQ plus community and are nonprofits unlike any theater in South Florida. We're excited to tell you about upcoming shows. And did you know that surveys show that the LGBTQ plus community participates in live theater performances 2.5 times more often than our straight counterparts? And that's why they are the sponsor of Hotspots Queer Entertainment this week. Eismayer, right? Eismayer, a film from Austria, is about a tough as nails and closeted army sergeant falling for an out recruit. The movie is headed to American screens next month, courtesy of Dark Star Pictures. Based on a true story, the movie follows Sergeant Major Charles Eismayer, a closeted gay man serving as a brutal drill sergeant in the Austrian army. But then one of the recruits, an openly gay soldier called Mario Falak, enters his life, and a secret passionate romance blossoms. The movie shows Sergeant Eismayer's struggles between the dictates of duty as he's married and a father, and a yearning to be free of the deceit he's been perpetuating. The film comes in a wake of other recent acclaimed gay dramas with military settings such as Firebird, Mafi, and The Inspection. The Hotspots Queer Entertainment is Austrian film Eismayer tells the story of gay military love. What do you folks think?
I am in.
Interesting topic, right? Like for a movie.
It's like, like what you can't do, it's forbidden.
I was raised on army bases.
Were you?
Yeah, from 0 to about 17, 7 different army bases growing up. And there is such a strong tie between the uniform and kind of that hyper masculine, very disciplined sort of personality. And I really think that is the roots also of the leather community, is that it really was kind of born from soldiers coming back from war and these really kind of structured mindsets, and then having to kind of come back and find their way sexually in the world. So I'm definitely going to see this. I don't even care if they make it in English or put subtitles. You don't care. No, you got a bunch of hot guys yelling Austrian at each other. I'm down. I don't even need to know what you're saying.
Subtitles on. You're just like, I'll just.
You're like, I love it.
Grab the lotion.
Volume up.
Yes.
Subtitles off.
And it sucks because when I first read the description to this movie, of course, we are so hypersexualized that we automatically go, it's like, oh, I saw porn that way, right? Like, I've seen a couple of porn about
military
the recruit
porn?
and the drill sergeant.
Do they make porn of that kind?
Yeah, you're like a top buyer.
Oh, I'll have to Google that.
Yeah, do your research.
No, but I mean, come on, this is history. This is our history, and it's the truth. I mean, with, all those, there's so many military bases on Earth with so many closeted gays there that a lot of stuff happens behind the scenes. People fall in love. It's just part of life.
And it's a big analogy just to real life. How many people are wearing a uniform where, they've been kind of put into a certain life or lifestyle and they have to live by that. So I think that there's a part of every gay person that gets that struggle that they're having in the film.
Yeah, and it also goes back to showing, it's like we've existed. This isn't something that just, came up, 10 years ago with social media. Now everyone's gay, and drag queen story hour, and now everyone's gay. Like, no, we've existed for centuries.
Forever.
Forever. We've been here. We've always been here. We will always be here. And now these stories are being told.
Yeah.
I mean, these stories are resonating because of that.
Yeah.
And I think that that's part of the problem, is that when we think about society in general right now, maybe because there are so many more people that are out, that you have to go backwards now in time and say, well, gosh, if this percentage of the population is out, then what happened when only 1% identified in this? It's like, well, they were still there.
Yeah.
Right?
They still existed.
They still existed. They were still serving in these roles. I think this is going to be interesting because this has a bit of the Brokeback feeling to it, because this isn't just a person who's closeted. They're closeted with like a life. which is actually another resonating that's been happening a lot more in society, which is there are people that are married in like heterosexual appearing relationships that are making these choices and these changes in their lives. And that has, you know, for better or worse, it has repercussions, like major repercussions. So it's interesting because we haven't really seen this a lot portrayed in this type of way. So I'm excited to see this too.
Well, I wanted Cal to go first just to illustrate that two brown men sitting next to each other do not have the same opinions. So you just said, oh, that's so interesting. I can't wait to see it, or something like that. I am complete opposite of all of you.
What a surprise.
Go figure. Shocker.
So, as soon as I saw this trailer, I was like, again?
What do you mean again? When have you seen this before?
First of all, in the 90s, on the Independent Film Channel and Sundance, every single gay movie had this same theme, which was the masculine profession, whether you were a police officer or military, having some relationship with somebody, you know, that's a gay relationship, and then all their shame for the next hour and a half of their movie.
On what channel have you been seeing this? Are you sure that wasn't porn?
No,
this is Homestead, first of all.
This is the Independent, this is Sundance.
But I know what you're talking about. I do know what you're talking about.
Every movie I ever saw in the 90s about gay people was this story, right? I just went and saw the one with Harry Styles, The Officer, which is the same kind of thing. They just in your blurb, which you were reading, they mentioned like 5 other movies that have this same theme, and I've seen this over and over again. And I wish that in the movie world that we're promoting like some gay movies or gay characters that have a little bit more to them than just the same trope over and over again.
Well, it's for a newer audience. It's for newer generations. And
but it all exists already.
Yeah, but the thing, it already existed. But I'm surprised that you would say that, being someone of the arts, because everything that you guys produce on stage is the same crap every single year. It's been done for hundreds of years.
Every arrangement.
So it's the same thing.
I want new things,
and it hasn't changed.
I want new stuff.
But this is for a newer audience. It's a new storyline.
Perfect example, right? When we were doing this, even as you're mentioning the movies, right? This also goes back to like, we're forgetting, right now we're talking about a movie in Austria. This is just happening to come to America. So Austria is in the middle of reckoning their own thing. A lot of the European countries right now, they're reckoning with things that America reckoned with 20 years ago.
That's a good point.
And it's very different when you're thinking about all of these different societies, because yes, are we in this new world where we're basically a global world? Sure. So we're going to see content from all over the place. But remember, we're all in different stages now. And we can watch things, you know, perfect example, right? There are things happening in South Korea with theirs where they're starting to tackle LGBT things. They're just now starting. Like, it's just now becoming a thing. Japan, gay marriage isn't a thing there, even though it's Japan and they're considered like, you know, first world, still not a thing. So like, we're actually in the middle of watching other places process things that even us as a country have still not quite gotten, right? I mean, it's not like, they're still trying to kick trans people and gay people back out of the military here in America. So it's like, although I see what you're saying, we have to also understand that this is part of our global world now. We're seeing the stories from all over these places coming. There's going to be like 1,000 Brokebacks in different countries because people were inspired by Brokeback, but now they're telling their own stories and how
their own language.
You know, and I think it's a matter of exposure also.
But to your point, I was just thinking that my first thought too was like this would be good for Saudi Arabia or for Russia. But I was thinking like in America. But there's a good point. It's in a different country and they're reckoning.
Yeah, and I think like I was saying, like it's a matter of exposure because I'm glad you had that experience in the 90s. I didn't have that experience. My first experience of seeing anything gay on TV was Queer as Folk, and it was because a friend of mine used to videotape it on VHS and then give me the VHS to watch. I didn't have HBO at home because I wasn't allowed to watch HBO. And the first time I ever saw anything gay on a film screen was Brokeback Mountain. And that was 10, 15 years ago. So
like
I never had that
but that's
exposure.
Not kids today.
No, but kids today now, are seeing it.
Everybody's gay.
Everybody's gay today.
Everyone, so it's like with social media and everything, they're exposed at a younger age.
Everybody's
gay.
That's why these stories have to continue to get told over and over so someone else new is seeing it.
I just want a few more stories that portray us a little bit more multidimensional.
There are a lot more stories, though.
There are. And you haven't seen
to
this
your
movie.
point again, this was a movie in a different country, in a different language, in a different culture and stuff. I guess part of of my rant in general because we had bros and we had these other things that we talked about.
No, because there's
I
bigoted
just want
people
them to have more dimension.
Okay, so
to
then
who we
write
are.
a freaking movie.
No,
Shut
because
up.
with the bigoted people in this country, that would be like, oh,
I'm not voting for you.
that gays in the military don't exist, and they'll say that really proudly, like because they love their country, they're not gay.
They're in the military.
Like, no, but
can't be
stories
gay.
like this, this is an example of no, gays exist in the
We
military.
have to continue to tell our stories in every single language from every single country. You know, that's the bottom line. Okay, like it or not, we're here, we're queer, and we ain't going.
We're not going
and we ain't going
anywhere.
nowhere.
We're multiplying like gremlins.
Literally.
More like roaches, depends on where you live. And speaking of hotspots queer entertainment, here's a quick glimpse of the venues that are part of the Broward Center.
The Broward Center for the Performing Arts, Parker Playhouse, Aventura Arts and Cultural Center, Rose and Alfred Miniachi Performing Arts Center. 4 venues that together bring a wealth of excitement to our community through the performing arts. The Broward Center for the Performing Arts is the center for world-class live entertainment, arts education, special events, dining, and more.
All right, who needs a shot?
Me.
Oh, God, I wish I drank. You people make me want to drink. All right, so let's play our yes or no game. It's called I'd Swallow That. I am going to make 4 statements, and if the hosts agree, they take a shot. I'd Swallow That is sponsored by the LGBTQ plus community's favorite spirit brand. You know it, you love it, Bacardi. Bacardi is the world's most loved rum brand. Bacardi, like my tío says, is as diverse as our LGBTQ plus community. Our neighbors here in South Florida, they are the world's largest privately held spirits company. Bacardi is also a legacy name in their support of the LGBTQ plus community with sponsorships, pride embracements, and a deep and passionate support of our LGBTQ plus charities and causes. And that's why tonight it's happening out plays I'd Swallow That with our favorite rum drink, Bacardi. All right? Here we go. Question numero uno. Share, bitch. Share. Cher is sharing her secrets to turning back time. In an interview with Good Morning Britain recently, the entertainment legend talked about aging and how she couldn't believe that she would soon be turning 80.
Yes.
She's currently 77. Cher believes youth is about how you feel on the inside and that long life also runs in the family. Her mother, Georgia, recently died at the age of 96. Watch this.
Well, I don't know. There's lots of genes in my family are pretty amazing. But I don't know. I don't know if not feeling old makes you younger. I'm not sure. And I keep up with the trends, and I have lots of young friends and have old friends too. But, you know, I don't, honestly, I'm not trying to feel young. I'm not trying to be young. I am who I am. So whatever that means, I'm just getting along.
Question number 1, with a Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. Cher said genes keep her young. I think that's her doctor's name, Jean.
Dr. Jean.
Dr. Gene Muscovitz.
No, Dr. Gene Hammerstein. That's his name. No.
But I also think it's a mind over matter thing because it's true. Like she always talks about being young, and I think it's a positive mindset. You know, if you think you're young, you are young.
Yeah.
So age is just a number.
Yeah. Okay.
This is money over matter.
Here we go.
Because no, and I didn't drink because I know that it's not all surgery, but dermatologist, dietitian, chef, personal trainer.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't all have to be surgery, but that's what money looks like. Italian genes don't hurt. Everybody in my family dies 90s and up there, but she is well maintained.
Just think about it. Think about Cher back in the 90s, like during, God, what was it, Mystic Pizza? Like during that time, and look at her now.
Moonshine.
You know? And it's Cher. So it's one of those things where part of me wants to say, come on, she's living off the flesh of those young boys that she eats, right? But then the other part of me is like, who effing cares? It's Cher. Like, she can do no wrong, you know? Like,
it's both because there's so many celebrities that have plastic surgery and none of them look as good as Cher does.
Nope. Yeah.
And there's a picture that I think Kim Kardashian tweeted with her wearing the same look.
Yep.
And I was like, why do they look so similar? And they're both Armenian fathers with white mothers. You know, so there is kind of, I thought that Cher, every time I look in the 70s and the television, I still think she is the most beautiful, natural beauty, you know, and then she's just used plastic surgery to maintain that. And I think her having the plastic surgery and everything has made her feel young. And they work together. And I think that if she didn't have the good genes and if she didn't have the routine that she has, she would not look nearly as good as she does. So that's my idol. I hope
right, because like we all think of like 77 like una abuelita, you know, like your grandma, and then you look at Cher and it's like that's not it, you know, like keep it up, mama, keep it up. So
I don't know. But the thing is I'll say this about her mother. If anybody's ever looked at her mother before she passed, like for a woman in her 90s, she looked amazing, and you could tell like she had not had the same thing Cher had.
No.
So it's like a lot of times, I mean, we discount it, but gene pool does play a large part in how you age.
Yeah.
And I mean, Cher is just one of those people that has been timeless. And I think that one of the things, this is for everyone, don't get a bunch of fillers in your face.
Okay.
Just don't do it, because that's what makes women, especially men do it occasionally, but that's what makes women look older. When Madonna started looking a little unusual, it's because she started getting fillers, which changes your face completely.
That makes sense. That's when you started looking like a
Now
Courtney
she looks like Jigsaw from Saw.
Courtney Cox, right? Courtney Cox did that. Remember, she started looking very strange. She had them all dissolved because she was like, I can't do this. So like, this is just a tip for anyone aging. Don't get a bunch of fillers.
Okay, but you see, that's why. Like that's why we also have to thank our parents for that. You know, it's all about the genes. Like you said, like I don't get along with my mom that great, but just looking at her, I know that I will look like her at her age. You know what I mean? Like your mom is gorgeous,
She's
and that's
77.
why. Okay, your mom is 77. Hey, mom.
Well,
okay, and look at this face, and you're gonna have that same beautiful face at 77 because of the good genes that your mom gave to you.
Mom.
Thank you, mom.
Thank you, Grandma.
Thank you, mom.
Ask almost any gay horror fan what their favorite scary movie is, and they'll probably tell you it's Scream. Well, actually, they'll tell you it's Scream and then proceed to rank all 6 films in the franchise for you. That is so gay. We love the blend of horror and comedy. We love the meta commentary skewering the genre's tropes, and we especially love that it was created by a gay screenwriter, Kevin Williamson. Question 2. With a Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. I love that the director of the next Scream movie is a hot gay daddy. Really?
I mean, look, there's been a slew of movies with some gay directors targeted towards the gay audience that have sucked really bad.
That's no nice way to talk about bros.
You know, that's one of them. Yeah, so I just hope that it's good because I do like the Scream franchise. It's definitely not one of the number ones if you ask a horror buff like what they like. But yeah, I'll get into it. And it reminds me of the early, like late 90s, early 2000s when Neve Campbell was like a queen.
Great.
And they keep bringing her back into them. Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
Like,
Courtney,
you know,
right.
Deputy Dewey.
Yeah, Deputy.
So I had to like look.
So you dismiss Scream as not one of the big gay horror movies. What is for
gay?
Yeah.
I don't even know anything.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't mean that. I mean gay. Wait, let me correct that. LGBTQ plus community support of horror. What is a preference for LGBT in horror?
In horror, I think everybody's go-to, regardless of your orientation, of like the scariest is The Exorcist.
Okay.
I think that's like number one. If you're going to like a comedy horror, geez, I don't know. I kind of separate those genres a little bit. There is the last Bring It On installment franchise. They turned it into a horror movie. Bring It On 5, I think, is a horror slasher flick.
There is a Bring It On 5.
Yeah, I was looking through the channels.
What did you think about Bring It On 5?
Well, first give us your review of 2, 3, and 4.
So, first of all, absolutely not. But second of all, I think that we see references in queer pop culture of Scream all the time. You know, there's the meme that was just showed on the screens of like the two right next to each other, and I once saw a meme as the funny one of the funnier ones. It's just a couple looking for a third. It's covered in blood.
To translate any?
I don't know.
out of his mouth.
just kind of like whispering and like sultry. I've never seen any of these memes. I've never seen any of those.
Are you a big horror movie fan?
I think my sister is more of one. Y'all, you met her yesterday. She's a hoot. But yeah, I think that she's definitely more of the horror buff than I am. But I love a good, I love a good scream.
Is
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I like this guy though. I had to look him up because I'm really not into daddies, but he's the son of the Little House on the Prairie dude.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, Michael Landon, who's playing this, kind of Christian religious, out in the, and then he has this hot gay son, and I have to say, I had to look how old he is. He's like,
by the way,
48, and
Michael Landon wasn't so good on LGBT.
Yeah, no, he was not.
He wasn't so good, I guess. And of course,
and he liked to,
may
take a
rest
shot
in
or two.
peace. May rest in peace. But I wonder how much he knew about his son, before his passing. Just a thought. We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ+ community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.
The 35-year-old Zac Efron. When did he turn 35?
When we
I thought he was still a
40,
twink.
we all got old.
Wow.
We all
Okay.
got old.
And he's got what is that a porn stash? Oh no, that's his brother.
That's his brother.
So the 35-year-old Zac Efron recently posted pics of himself and Dylan Efron, his 31-year-old brother, on a boating outing at Idaho's Lake Coeur d'Alene. And the gays are loving it. It has been 2 years since the Efrons thirst trapped together. The last was when the pair were bungee jumping in Australia. And if this is not enough, you can always check out the individual social media accounts of these brothers.
All right, outside arms out wide. Here we go, fellas. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push.
Hey, we're not spinning that much. Yeah, we did pretty good. Hey! Oh, that was scary.
Bad as the rest of the internet.
Yeah, right? I was like, I'm not as bad as the rest of the internet. I really am, Auntie Mame. Question number 2, with a Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. I love the Efron brothers' Labor Day weekend thirst traps.
Sure,
I didn't think it was going to, but all that slapping on the chest and hugging and stuff really got me going. Tickled my little...
I didn't even know he had a brother.
Oh, yeah.
Up until I saw this, yeah.
So you must have not watched his reality show.
No, I didn't.
I didn't.
No,
I didn't see the brother
I
when
didn't.
you're looking at the pecs.
Oh, there's that.
But I'm down for any good thirst trap. I'm down for, I was a person who never liked showing my body. I just recently did my own little thirst trap. I went and saw, I was in a beach, and I was like, I might as well just show up. Right? I mean,
Sexy as hell, right?
It's all about loving you, showing you, and being happy with what you got, because everybody can be the ape, and we're still allowed to do this kind of stuff.
And we're still alive to do this. Has anybody ever seen South Park when it was like John Stamos? And it was John Stamos' younger brother, Seth, singing blah, blah, blah. That's what I feel about Zac Efron's brother. I'm like, so, okay, right? But I mean, again, if they weren't brothers, it'd be more sexy.
Listen, that happened to Ariana's brother, and Ariana's brother now has a name for himself.
Yeah,
so
what's his name again?
Frankie.
Oh, that's it.
Frankie Johnson.
I didn't know it. Frankie.
You didn't know, but you mentioned it. Wow, you're mean. You're so mean, John.
Kind of like, why is he famous? Like, you can't figure it out. I think.
That's about Ray J?
I didn't do a shot. I didn't do a shot, right?
Why?
Sure.
Just because for me, like, I've never been good into this whole like sibling thirst trappy thing. It's kind of weird to me, but I will say I love how much they love each other, right? I wish more straight, hetero, cis men did this, right? On display, right? It's okay to hug your brother. It's okay to like just.
It's okay to show affection.
It's okay to show affection, guys. Like, it's not a thing. And I think that this is my only problem with it, is that when the gays then turned it into like, boy, I saw one that was like, gosh, they're kind of like boyfriends. I'm like, no, they're not. They're just siblings that love each other, guys.
Men are allowed to bond.
Men are allowed to bond. And that's why for me, it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Because I think to myself, we can't always turn every single thing.
Well, we don't want to answer that because, that's what the right wing thinks of us.
Every time.
It's like, wow, we're really doing exactly what they see us.
Yeah. I mean, if it was his dad, I definitely would feel a little different about this. It'd be way harder if it was him and his dad.
If it was his dad?
Well, you have this daddy thing going on.
I do.
Yes.
But the good thing is, I have brothers, and I've lost 2 of my brothers. And so when my brothers, we live in different places. So when we do come together, we do hug. Well, of course, you got to give the grip, and then you got to get the hug. But it's because you don't want to miss the moments of when they're gone that you don't have these kind of moments. So I'm definitely with man. Like we gotta normalize brothers saying, hey, I love you, appreciate you, and move on without making anything other than. And I am the brother who technically doesn't have children that I claim. I am that brother who they're like, well, you are a certain age, bro, aren't you? And we still group, we still give that same embrace of love because tomorrow is not promised, and you have to love each other. We have to say, you know what, I see you, I want you, I appreciate you, kind of thing.
Well, I think it also depends on where you're from. Like we're Cuban, and all the men kiss each other in the cheek. Like I kiss my brother, my dad, my uncle, like everybody on the cheek. It's not a thing for us.
Right.
Like I'm just joking. This is nothing to me.
Yeah.
But it can be something to me.
Of course.
Look at that face of a bad little child. It can be something.
Notice how his makeup had turned red all of a sudden. Right? Okay.
No, somehow it's cutting. Your concealer is not even hiding right
I don't have makeup on.
Oh yeah, sure.
You don't?
Nope.
Sure. Just like LGBTQ plus on Wilton Drive, we are taking a lot of shots. Let's take a momentary break and hear from our sponsor, Bacardi Rum. Eso, that makes me want to just wiggle.
Yeah.
It's that Puerto Rican in me. All right. Let's discuss It's Happening Out's Hot Topic this week, and it's sponsored by the American retail chain Hot Topic. With nearly 700 locations specializing in counterculture-related clothing and accessories representing many varied interests of the LGBTQ plus community, including music, movies, graphic artists, gaming, and a whole lot more. Hot Topic features one of the largest collections of pride merchandise that celebrates all aspects of the LGBTQ plus community. Hot Topic is a major supporter of the diversity of our community and supports many events, festivals, and nonprofit LGBTQ plus organizations. And that's why they are the sponsor of It's Happening Out's Hot Topic. General nakedness around the home is not an unusual habit. As a matter of fact, many people must be doing it when alone at home right now. One Reddit user wants to know if anyone else is also indulging in naked or half-clothed in-house days when home alone. Apart from the user, needless to say, Reddit gay users jumped on this post on r/LGBT. The long thread of comments revealed interesting thoughts. Some Redditors said it is weird for people not to have a space in their life where being in the natural state is acceptable, and people should be comfortable in their own home. One other user said, quote, "My partner and I parade around the house naked pretty often. The pets don't seem to mind," end quote. Well, pets never do mind. No. But what about others? This week's hot topic is, are LGBTQ plus people more comfortable being nude around friends or each other than straight people are? All right, what do you kids think?
Yeah. I mean, I routinely walk around the house basically in like a long t-shirt, and that's about it.
No underwear?
Sometimes no.
But you live with your boyfriend, right?
Your husband?
Yeah. I just do.
But it's just you and your hubby.
Yeah, it's like
and your pets.
Yeah, it's just not. I think that sometimes we have to get more open with ourselves because honestly, there is a kind of a strange thing of if you're not even comfortable by yourself in the all together, then it's like you have to kind of wonder what's going on with that because, if you get out of the shower, for example, especially in South Florida, like maybe the most comfortable thing right after is to not put on clothes because it's hot. But I mean, there are people that they stay in clothes no matter what.
Yeah. Do you folks have friends that are like just constantly like always naked?
Yeah.
Like I've got, and people are like, okay, the point of the question is like, are we more comfortable being naked around our friends than straight people are? You're not at all.
No, and I don't think that I'm the norm.
Okay.
If you go to like a gay party or at a sawmill campground or anything like that where nudity is allowed, like
that's different.
Absolutely flock to that.
Yeah.
But I don't like being naked around friends or like gay friends. I feel like I like that line being there where it is. Like, I'm not one of those guys that has slept with his gay friends. So like there are friends that I'll be naked with, but those are very particular situational.
You know, like I'm thinking about like, okay, you know, in LGBTQ, like our dressing rooms, right? Like when I'm working a gig, right? And I'm in the back in the dressing room with the drag queens, right? Everybody's just getting naked and changing. Nobody's looking at each other. It's not that kind of thing. When I used to model, same thing. Like there's someone just stripping you down and putting other clothes on you and no one's looking, you know? And so girls are just walking around naked because that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? And it's not, there's not a malice to it.
Yeah, because I thought about the same thing also of like working in theater, and I know you probably had the same experience also because you're just used to just the quick change, you know, and everyone's just changing and pulling and tugging and putting things on you. But after looking at the story, it made me think of like my straight friends, and I realized that they are more comfortable being naked around me, which I find interesting because we'll like we're on vacation or, you know, they're over at the house or whatever, and like we'd be in the hotel and they're going to go take a shower, but they get naked in the room
and they put their penis in your mouth, and then
you know, like, on the way to the bathroom, you know, but
look how cool and accepting.
Yeah, you know, but it's like, they're really like
but is that what Mark is saying? Is that the reason though? Like to try to show you, look at me, look at me, P flag, look, I'm gonna go to Pride with you. Look how
this is an ally, baby.
Look how comfortable I am right here.
I don't think so. I just think they're just more comfortable. Like,
yeah, like I mean, when I was in college, like girls, like literally they change bras, do nothing. It was never a thing. And it was really funny because I had this one friend, she had a nice bosom, right? And like the guys on my floor, because I lived in a mixed gender building, they were like asking me like,
what do they look like?
Right, because they were all like, I was always upstairs, so like every guy was asking me about every girl.
Is Thelma as big as Louise?
Because it would, like the girls would just be like, whatever,
identical twins.
Literally, like they just didn't care, and so it is. I think that it always comes back down to like comfort level, right? Like how comfortable do you feel around a person, just in general? I don't think it's really like a gay or straight thing. I think it's literally just how comfortable you are around certain people.
But I think it is a gay and a straight thing though, Auntie, because I think like you said, you know, like all growing up in college and stuff like that, I had my gay boys and I had my bestie and whatever, and it was like not even a thought in your mind to change in front of them. But you know, because you were comfortable and you were safe.
Yeah, we do it here in the studio, like when we're changing between shows, like if someone's randomly just like getting naked and it's not anything, we're not like looking at each other, we're just changing for the next scene,
looking.
You know?
So I actually, that's kind of where I'm going with it. That my level of like comfort being naked in front of other people has to do with whether I think that they're attracted to me or not, or if they're like, if I am.
So if they're hotter than you, then.
No, it has nothing to do with hot or
not. No, I'm still asking you. I'm asking if they're hotter than you and they might have an attraction to you, would you be okay getting naked in front of them?
If I'm feeling in a good state, like, you know, I've worked out earlier that day, I still got my gym pump and everything, yeah. So
then you'd post a shirtless picture on social media for a bunch of people that you don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm going back to this topic.
Do you post like that? Do you post topless pictures on your social media? I don't follow you. I'm never going to follow you. So
I follow Trinity on social.
With the zoomed up hair.
All right, well, this is not the topic.
Wait,
all right.
You are the topic. You are the topic.
Topic.
Let him finish.
So I would say, like,
production, can you show those images that I sent you of Tony shirtless?
I don't know who Tony is either. But anyway.
No, I'm just kidding.
Anyways.
Next week.
So, yeah, if I think that, particularly with gay friends, right? There's some gay friends that are just like your bros. And then there are other gay friends that are like either ones that you've hooked up with at some point, or that there is still like maybe an attraction going on, you know? So if I feel like that there is somebody that I have hooked up with and there's definitely no more like attraction, I can be, you know, get naked and change or whatever in front of them. If there is attraction between both of us, I still can do that. But if there's somebody that I feel it's like a one-sided thing where they're like kind of into you maybe a little bit, then I'm definitely like Maria von Trapp when I'm around that. Because I just don't want to invite any kind of weirdness between us.
But that makes sense.
And also with girls too, because there are sometimes a lot of girls that like, if they're into you in a certain way, because there's a lot of girls that love gay men, and they're gonna be like wanting to look, and just how Faith be looking at people when they're changing and stuff. Sometimes they'll look at people too, and so like
So I guess it just depends.
It just depends on the situation and who the person is and
home,
whether they're
and I guess it's one of those
checking
things
me
because
out.
you have this is your body, right? This is your body to show. Okay, I've been married 5 years now, and I'm always parading around the house naked because my pets don't mind either, right? But if we're in a fight, then I cover myself up. Isn't that hysterical?
Do you really? You can't see
this is not yours today, bitch. You know what I mean? I literally will. I should be like, are you really covered up? Yes, I am. Until you say sorry, and then
a big oversized hoodie,
Who needs a shot?
I need a shot. If people at home knew what happens when the cameras, when you're in commercial,
I swear to God, we're going to do
they would drink too.
We're going to do an Untucked one day. All right. Let's play our yes or no game called I'd Swallow That. I'm going to make 4 statements, and if the hosts agree, they're going to take a shot. I'd Swallow That, as you know, is sponsored by the LGBTQ plus community's favorite spirit brand. Bacardi is the world's most loved rum brand. Bacardi is as diverse as our LGBTQ plus community. Our neighbors right here in South Florida, they are the world's largest privately held spirits brand. Bacardi is also a legacy name in their support of the LGBTQ plus community with sponsorships, pride embracements, and a deep and passionate support of our LGBTQ plus charities and causes. And that's why tonight, It's Happening Out plays I'd Swallow That with our favorite rum drink, Bacardi. Here we go. Question 1. Men are rocking skimpy bodysuits, and they're turning hot gay summer into an inferno. Recently, a new slinky undergarment swimsuit brand has been prepping for its moment in the sun by popping up on more and more thirst traps of some of your favorite Insta-gays. These muscled queens, spelled with a K, have been striking poses and leaving little to the imagination in aerobics, class-approved spandex bodysuits fit for a whole new generation. So, question number 1, with a Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. I would have never expected one-piece bathing suits to be the sign of the hot himbo summer. I'm surprised.
I'm not.
I'm not either.
Really?
Cameron, you tell me why, baby.
If you think about back in 50s to 70s, men's fashion swimwear, they had these square cut singlets that went right over your quads that were actually fashioned for the beach. And those cabanas, they would strip down into it, and they would have this. So seeing a more high-waisted, kind of almost gender-bent version, I'm fucking into it.
1 out of 1,000 men look good in this.
And that's the thing, and that's the problem, okay? And the reason I'm not surprised that this came out is because, remember, we had the boy romper a couple of years back, right? And that looked amazing on certain people. Not, just like Al said, unfortunately, not everyone looks good in a boy romper. But there's less to the imagination with this one. You know what I mean? You can kind of hide in a romper. There's no hiding in this leotard. Wait, I can't call it a leotard, right? Because it's not a leotard, right?
Manitard.
I can't call it a catsuit either, right? Because it's not. Because bitches, you stole it from the girls, all right? Let's be real about it. It looks good on you too, but let's, give credit where it's due.
And I agree. We got to give credit where it's due. We got to lay that with foundation that we borrowed it, we stole it, and it only good, and it only looks good on certain folks. And I'm surprised because being hot boy summer for the beach, I have gotten into one of these when I do my performances, and that's the only time.
But that's different.
But on the beach,
do you feel comfortable when you do that?
Absolutely.
You do?
Absolutely.
Do you have pictures?
So you can't read minds, because if you'd have read my mind.
Damn.
But that's why you gave me $5 in that celebrity listing. But however,
but how does your big package fit into that little area in the front of that?
I do wear garments to hold it in.
Oh, the secrets are out.
But I am Al's face just stopped all of my comments. You're hot tonight. What's this about? Yeah. But I am surprised because I would have never thought that men would go into that comfort level, all men, and allowing themselves to wear it anywhere and everywhere.
It should be illegal.
But it should be, we should be hyped on certain body frames. I think when you show that V, that's the prettiest thing ever. Not the package, but that V leading to it is the best thing. And these garments highlight the body style.
You can't have this kind of garment and body positivity at the same time. Because what you're talking about in terms of pursuing that V is a very body specific image of leading to that point.
I have one of these at home. You did not want me bringing it in today. And let me tell you.
Wait.
First
You
things
don't
first.
know how much I didn't want you to bring.
I know.
We all agree on that one. There's one thing we all
Exactly.
agree on,
and
right?
It's not me who's uncomfortable with it. It's all y'all fuckers.
No, no,
so.
no.
But you're
no, I
comfortable
love
with
it.
it,
Oh my
right?
God, I look hot as hell.
Absolutely. I would shoot that. Now, I'm just saying what my visual love is. However, I would encourage you to do it because, again, your ability to have that body shown and the skimpiness of that little flap is amazing.
It's the only thing related to this that I do think is positive. Well, I think this is just, I really dislike it. I do like people that are comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
That they're not 182 pounds of muscle doing this and they look spectacular in it. This is not Fire Island, the movie. Okay, many of the people in Fire Island could do this, but I do like the people that can wear it, and it might not be natural of universal appeal, but they are completely comfortable in it. So that's what I think. Our Hotspots magazine will celebrate 39 years this fall. It has been documenting the LGBTQ plus lifestyle and is the inspiration of our Hotspots Queer Entertainment this week. And it's sponsored by the Broward Center for Performing Arts. In the LGBTQ plus community, we always make jokes about size matters. Well, when it comes to the Broward Center, size does matter. The Broward Center is the destination of choice for LGBTQ plus South Florida for spectacular entertainment in a large variety of performance venues. Broward Center ranks among the top 10 most visited theaters in the entire world, presenting more than 700 performances a year to more than 700,000 patrons. And Broward Center supports one of the world's largest gay communities, right here in Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, but really all over South Florida. They support the LGBTQ plus community and our nonprofits unlike any theater in South Florida. And we are excited to tell you about upcoming shows. And did you know that surveys show that the LGBTQ plus community participates in live theater performances 2.5 times more often than our straight counterparts? And that's why they are the sponsor of Hotspots Queer Entertainment this week. And it's this. The rugby legend and longtime icon to the LGBTQ plus community, Ben Cohen, has made his acting debut in the British anthology series Patterns. The series rather ingeniously captures Cohen as himself, or rather as a poster of himself that comes to life to share words of advice to a closeted teen who idolizes him. It's fantastically campy, and really, who could complain about another opportunity to see the rugby hunk shirtless? But that's just the tip of the iceberg with Patterns, a highly high-concept comedy that introduces us to a world of eccentric characters and finds them all fitting in and out in 8 different genres across 8 distinctive episodes, all centered on LGBTQ plus themes. It's important that so many new shows and movies globally include LGBTQ plus themes and characters.
I need to go back to work. Nino must be wondering what's happened to me. He has texted me like 4 times.
I'm sure he knows exactly what's happened to you.
Well, maybe that's true, but I still need to go. Don't worry, I'll be back. Did you just cough?
Patterns, patterns, patterns. No matter how complicated the strands, how frayed the threads, how broken the connections, the mind will weave. We create, and we believe what we create.
The Hotspots Queer Entertainment is new British anthology comedy Patterns. Is chaotic, hilarious, confusing, but above all else, it's super gay. What do y'all think?
Well, I loved it. I loved that.
Did you see it?
So I did the little research about the whole, how you can watch you don't have to watch all in succession. You can watch them individually, and it all kind of get pieced together.
Eight little
mini movies, and they reference somebody from another episode and kind of comes together. I like it also how it's real life. You know, when we sit down at the table to film and we saw how our wonderful co-host coughed. Immediately, I was like, "Hell, is that real? Like, you got COVID?" And then here it is. I also can share. I'm amongst friends. The opening scene where the guy said, "Hey, I need to get back to work." That was my life. That literally was my life today. I had to set Alexa for like 10 minutes, but I did a quick little romp and went right back to work. So I love how these things are truly within our community.
Did you just tell us it's like wham, bam, thank you, sir?
I had a break. I needed a moment, and there was somebody I could be like, "Hey, I got 10 minutes. You ready?"
All right.
10 minutes. They came. They did what they needed to do.
I see. So this was a documentary for you.
Art imitation is the best imitation.
Right? I mean, we say it countless times from this table that, representation matters. So as more of these come out, the better it is for everybody. I mean, there's a writer's strike right now. So maybe some LGBTQ plus content that was on the cutting room floor might just make it to our homes. Who knows?
Yeah.
Unless you can relate to
one of the things that's really interesting to your point and this, as I was watching the two of them in bed, I was thinking, now, and from my standpoint, I have watched that scene for 50 years. When I was a teenager, I watched that scene for 50 years. If you watched daytime soap, I'm in high school and I come home and maybe my mom's watching a soap opera. That was the scene. You watched that scene over and over and over again. The one big difference is it was a man and a woman. So we watched that scene with two men doing exactly what we watched on television in America on ABC 50 years ago. The point of watching that is not necessarily how important that scene is, but that it normalizes our relationships are exactly the same thing as the relationships we watched on ABC 50 years ago.
It's true.
Other thoughts? I guess there are no.
Well, I also like the fact about the beautiful woman. So as I was doing my research, I thought about Faye, how our dynamic of you have that good girl that you can hang out with, and you can.
I'm a good girl.
You are a beautiful woman, and the best girl ever, and the best beautiful woman that you can love on and still be a part.
Be talking Russian right now because I have no idea what.
Me neither.
There we are, Wonder Twins.
Whatever.
All right. The other thing that I wanted to ask about patterns being a UK generated accents, colloquialisms, etc. Do we just love it more because it's English?
I hate it. Wait, British?
English, British.
We love it more because it's British.
I know I like it because it's in English and I don't need subtitles. But I'm
not talking about the language.
No, I know, I get it. But the accents,
darling.
I don't know why. I just don't like British comedies, British humor, British everything.
Thing on the planet.
And my parents had it in the
Australian.
House all the time.
If this was produced in Sydney, I would even love it even more.
But I do love the rugby thing. I think out of all the athletes, rugby dudes seem to be like the most comfortable with their sexuality. So good on you, Mr. Crop Top. I don't know what your name is.
Did you process at all that if you were interacting with the rugby dudes, they would probably hurt you?
Yeah, the train would be endless with you.
But you'd enjoy it.
I don't know.
He would get moist.
I think I'm way more. I think I'm way more.
They would just bang his
I think I'm way more dominant than you guys realize.
Yeah, clearly you are.
Rugby players, baby.
Let's take a quick vote. Do you believe that?
Hell no, I'd bend them over.
Do you believe that?
Hell no.
Do you believe that?
Bottom.
I vote no. We're done. Thank you.
Well, that concludes this
and welcome to the Price
of
is
patterns,
Right. All
because
right.
this is a pattern at this table.
It's the pattern that we've identified. All right.
Provincetown is an LGBTQ plus resort town in Massachusetts, sculpted by artists and made profitable by the gays. A century of Speedo-filled summers decorates its history. Provincetown's energy can be best summarized by the nude photo of Tennessee Williams strolling at the gay nudist beach, hanging at a house, which he would frequent with other historical creative icons like Ernest Hemingway. But procrastinators beware, as this is not a vacation you can book last minute. This gay paradise demands bookings in advance. This, combined with the high cost of lodging, has led many to complain the summer hotspot has been over-gentrified. Question number 4, with a Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. P-Town has been a gay summer spot for over 100 years, but I think it's time for new top destinations.
Or new bottom destinations.
Okay.
Who's been to P-Town here?
Oh, shamefully, I haven't. I've been trying for 3 years. I haven't.
You can just go.
Yeah, but I'm always working in that same Bear Week, but it's also like Bear Weeks in other places.
You're a person who literally is like in Los Angeles one week,
Vegas another, then he goes to London.
New York, he's headlining a show in New York.
Oh,
okay, relax. That sounds really nice, but it's true. Like P-Town is one of those places I just haven't been able to go to, and it's because it's super expensive. There's
not easy to get to. You have to. It's not easy to get to either.
No, and I'm the guy that's like, oh, we're going to LA tomorrow. Okay, fine, we could do that. But going to P-Town tomorrow is the hardest shit you've ever done in your life. There's no way you're going to find a fucking place to stay.
And it looks so monolithic.
I think people that gave birth might disagree.
But I gotta ask my brother Elimination something that you said before the show. A reason why you're not thinking of going to P-Town anytime soon.
P-Town is so mayonnaise, Caucasian is the Caucasianity of it all. I have never, ever been to P-Town.
The TikTok? Oh.
I do not feel a need to go.
On white bread with mozzarella cheese.
And all I see is just the paleness. And so, and
all I see is the paleness.
And the fact that we talk about the lodging is expensive. The whole trip to me is expensive. Nothing that I was doing the research and I laughed because I saw some imagery of brown folks and then I'm like, wait a minute, how come this picture doesn't look nothing like all these white folks pictures, but they just it's thrown into it. And so I think we do need more
Photoshop.
We do.
They superimpose.
But we do. But we definitely do. We need more destinations because I will share with you this. We talk about other destinations. They're very much like this. Fire Island is another situation that I've only gone to Fire Island when it was blackout weekend.
Okay.
Palm Springs when it was Latino Oasis. We have to, find out ways to do more inclusion because that's the only way for me and my, that I think that more folks of color, other than the theme, even Jonathan laid it out. Bear Weekend, he specifically said, we have to find more ways where it definitely doesn't look like that mayonnaise Caucasian-y.
I feel like you guys are probably scared of the water. You can't swim, so you don't want to kind of get.
I was on the swim team in high school. I don't want to hear that motherfucker. I was on the swim team in high school.
Okay, Auntie Mame could swim, all right?
Even if I can't swim.
Notice Elimination has said nothing.
I can't. I guess I look good in a good old lifesaver. But however,
no, we were on that 4th of July cruise with you.
I guess I knew where every life jacket was. I knew where our Cuban was to save my life. She didn't go too far about holding her hand.
And you can be white and object to P-Town for exactly the same reason.
Yeah.
Because you go, it looks so monolithic, and then every picture that you see with people of color in it, it's like a model picture.
Yeah, it's like those four people
hotel brought in the same four.
No,
you got your
it's
Asian.
the four people they stuck from United Colors of Benetton, and it just stole it right there.
Working in location.
My marriage.
I've never been, and I've never had a desire to go. Like, I'd go if like a group was like put together and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna go experience it. Yeah. But it's definitely not in like my top 100 destinations that I want to go
it's a
to.
place that a lot of gays go to, but South Florida gays don't really. Like, it's more like me living in New York and New Jersey. All those gays went, and they went for Bear, they went for Black and Brown weekend, they went for Lesbian weekend.
But
any other time they'd be like, eh.
But I also think that's what I'm saying. Like, living in South Florida, we're spoiled also because I don't go somewhere else to go to the beach because I can go to the beach every day.
You don't go there to go to the beach.
You know, like
theme
park. It's freezing.
I would like to go, but that's because that's where like a lot of queer artists they do like shows.
There's shows, yeah.
Like, there's like Jinx does a show, Bianca does. They're like, I would love to go for that.
Yeah,
but that's it.
Yeah,
right. Because they put on like very unique shows for those.
Like a black market there.
Right. Yeah. Right. Like that's amazing.
They do. They really do. Yeah.
But like every time I ever see pictures, I really feel like it's like the Salem witch trials, and it's just like, not like one of us, right? Like that.
And I felt like it was built like that, and it's been continually going. And so someone says, hey, because we do all of that. I mean, we know how we all dress like that. We all have done this on the drive.
We're in that place.
So you know, but I do.
We have P-Town right here.
But with better weather.
That's it. That's it. Well, here at the Happening Out Television Network, we always try and celebrate the special moments in the lives of everyone involved, right? And sadly, we aren't always able to. But today, question number 5, with an extra special treat, I swallow that. We're happy that we can celebrate the birthday of host Mark Pettit on today's show.
Happy birthday!
Oh my God, here you go, Mark. Oh my God. Guys, I don't know if I can have these macros.
Oh, you can have them. Happy birthday, Martin.
Really super special.
We want you to know how special you are,
Absolutely
how you are special to this team, how we love you, even though you're white. Like, there's just, so much about you. You bring so much love. You bring so much passion. You bring so much you to It's Happening Out. And I can't tell you how much we appreciate that. Every time I walk through the door and I see you here, you make me smile just by living.
Yes.
Oh, let's make them cry. Let's make them all cry. Let's make them cry. Let's make them cry. Let's make them cry.
So I don't cry, but y'all really have become such a big part of my extended family. Every single one of you I've gotten to hang out with outside of this. And I've grown from our relationship, and I wouldn't trade this experience of being with y'all for the world, especially when Trinidad isn't here.
I'm just kidding. Oh, yeah. And happy birthday. I made Al take the day off. You see?
Right.
You see how I roll?
We invited you to the cool table, so now the plastic is now really good.
And I love that we got vanilla white ice cream.
On top of red velvet. We don't do vanilla cake. We don't do vanilla cupcakes here. We don't.
Yeah, it's real black. You got red velvet.
Red velvet?
Yes, Andy, yes.
Any birthday wishes?
Oh, I got my birthday wish. My husband came home last week.
Oh, you could have ended that sentence with just my husband came.
Yeah.
That would have been his wish. That wouldn't have been his wish.
No.
That would have been.
I think I really do live
gosh,
an absolutely blessed life. I wouldn't ask for more.
That's so awesome.
Listen, and my last thing. You know that I love you because I share my Botox lady with you, and I don't share her with nobody.
What Botox?
What Botox?
Exactly.
Again, remember, notice I said now it's cooler because we have you here.
You don't want to see 47 without this work done.
Botox, who is she?
Right.
She do nails?
I barely know her, right?
My drag name.
Right?